I never thought my husband would betray me like that. Right there, in front of hundreds of people, under the spotlight that was supposed to be ours. Everyone was clapping, smiling, drinking champagne, and I was standing there, frozen, watching the man I loved call another woman his wife. The worst part, she was wearing my dress, the exact same one I bought for that night. The cameras flashed, people gasped, and I realized this wasn't an accident. It was a setup, a public humiliation. But he forgot one thing. The whole event was being live streamed. And when I took the mic, the internet saw everything. Don't scroll. You're about to see how one perfect marriage exploded, live on stage. Backhand index pointing right, follow and subscribe. You won't believe what happened next. 3 weeks before the gala, everything felt perfect. Or at least, I thought it was. My husband, Daniel, had just been promoted to vice president of his company. He said the annual charity gala would be his big night, his chance to prove himself. And he wanted me by his side, the woman behind his success. He made me feel special again. Flowers on the table, breakfast in bed. He even called me his lucky charm. I spent days picking out the perfect dress. A deep blue gown, elegant but bold, the kind of dress that says, I belong next to him. We planned every detail together. Or at least, that's what I believed. Then the first red flag appeared. I found a second invitation in his office drawer. Same event. Different name. Guest, Claire Summers. When I asked, he laughed it off. Oh, that's just for my assistant, he said. But don't worry, babe, you're the only one who matters. His words sounded sweet. But his eyes, they didn't match his smile. That night, I couldn't sleep. Something felt off, like my heart knew a secret my brain refused to hear. The night of the gala arrived, glitter, music, luxury everywhere. Daniel looked perfect in his tuxedo, smiling like a man with no secrets. But my stomach twisted the moment we stepped inside. He kissed my cheek, whispered, "Go mingle, I'll join you in a bit." Then he disappeared. An hour passed. No sign of him. I told myself not to overthink. But then I saw him. Across the ballroom, standing next to a tall blonde woman in a gold dress. They were laughing, their faces way too close. His hand rested on her back like it belonged there. I froze. Every sound in the room faded, except my heartbeat. He looked at her the way he used to look at me. I tried to walk over, but someone stopped me. A woman I'd never met smiled and said, "You must be Claire. Daniel's fiancée, right?" My blood ran cold. I forced a smile and walked away before she saw my shaking hands. Then the projector lit up the stage. Photos of Daniel and that woman appeared, smiling, holding a giant check. The announcer's voice echoed, "Let's honor our most generous couple of the year, Mr. and Mrs. Carter." My heart stopped. Carter. That's not my last name. The room blurred. The crowd clapped. And Daniel, my husband, took her hand and walked onto the stage like I never existed. I don't even remember how my legs started moving. 1 second I was frozen. The next, I was walking straight toward the stage. People were cheering. The spotlight followed Daniel and that woman, Mrs. Carter. I heard my own pulse in my ears. Every step felt like walking through fire. He saw me. And for the first time that night, his perfect smile cracked. "Daniel," I called, my voice echoing through the speakers. The microphone slipped from his hand. Gasps filled the room. "Who is she?" I asked. My voice was calm, but my hands were shaking. He opened his mouth, but nothing came out. Then the screens behind us changed. Dozens of photos, his text messages, his secret emails, all projected for everyone to see. Because what he didn't know was, I had access to his cloud backup. Every lie. Every fake business trip. Every message to Claire. All of it flashing in front of hundreds of guests and thousands watching the live stream. The crowd went silent. The woman beside him stepped back, tears forming in her eyes. She looked at me, and I realized she had no idea either. He'd lied to both of us. Security rushed forward, but it was too late. The internet had already seen everything. The perfect husband, exposed in real time. I dropped the mic, looked him in the eyes, and whispered, "You wanted a show, Daniel. Well, you just got one." The next morning, my phone wouldn't stop buzzing. Thousands of messages. Hundreds of news outlets. Every headline had the same name, his. Vice President exposed in live Gala scandal. Wife crashes stage, reveals double life. The internet was eating him alive. But this wasn't just about cheating. Because while everyone focused on the drama, I found something worse. The charity funds he bragged about. They didn't exist. He'd been funneling money from our joint account into a fake foundation. My name was on the documents too, meaning if he went down, I would too. I was ready to break. Then, out of nowhere, I got a call. It was her. The other, Mrs. Carter. Her voice was trembling. "He lied to me too," she said. "He told me you were his ex. That you were obsessed with him." For a moment we were silent, two women, same pain, same enemy. And right then, I knew what to do. We teamed up. We gathered every document, every transaction, every photo. And we handed it all to the authorities. By the end of the week, Daniel wasn't giving speeches, he was facing charges. And me? For the first time in years, I finally slept in peace. 3 months later, I walked into the courthouse. The same man who once promised me forever, now sat there in a gray suit, handcuffed, eyes empty. He didn't look powerful anymore. He looked small. Like all the lies had finally crushed him from the inside. When the judge read his sentence, I didn't feel revenge. I felt relief. Because I finally understood, closure isn't about getting even. It's about walking away without looking back. The reporters wanted a statement. I just smiled and said, "He taught me betrayal. But I learned exposure." Now I speak at women's events. Not as a victim, but as someone who rebuilt herself from the ashes of a public disaster. People still ask me, "Would you ever forgive him?" I tell them, I already did. The moment I stopped caring. That night, I wore a white suit, clean, bold, free. The same spotlight that once humiliated me now followed my own name. And for the first time in years, I didn't flinch. I smiled. Because I finally understood what freedom looks like. Backhand index pointing right, follow and subscribe, because every ending has a beginning, and mine was just getting started.